And what was it about your dad pretending to be Yago that sort of released you, your voice?
So wonderful and funny.
You know, what's interesting, at the end of that 2 minutes, Owen answered me in the voice of another character. Who did you do?
The evil Jafar.
What did you say?
I love the way your foul little mind works.
That's the next line of dialogue. At that point, we said, my God, we can speak in Disney dialogue.
Now, this is after 3 years.
After 3 years of silence.
Of not hearing Owen speak. What do you think it was in that interaction that liberated his voice?
Well, he had memorized 50 Disney animated movies, the entire things. And you realize if you threw him a line, he'd throw you back the next line. At that point, Cornelia and I said, we can converse in dialogue. Everything's in Disney somewhere, certainly in 50 movies. So we begin what we called the basement sessions the next night. We start with Jungle Book, remember?
Yeah.
I'm Baloo, she's Bagheera, his brother is King Louie, and Owen is Mowgli. We played scene after scene. It allowed Owen to get at emotional understanding, human interaction, all through Disney.
What's amazing, Owen, is you're a highly respected, incredibly successful Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist who's written about politics and big issues all your career. And suddenly, right in the heart of your family, you have one of the greatest stories you could imagine.
Yeah.
The remarkable redevelopment, if you like, of your son.
Piers, what was amazing is during the day I'm interviewing presidents. At night we're in the basement meditating on the emergence of the hero. And in some ways, the basement conversations were the more real. And of course, Owen ends up year by year leading it. He gets his speech back over several years. He learns to read by reading credits. And what's powerful about it is what we learned about the power of story. You know, of course, these Disney stories folks have been telling themselves for thousands of years to make their way in the world. And Cornelia and I led the way, and then Owen led the way in this world of story.
And do you still love Disney?
Yes, I do.
Films? Do you still watch them? Do you still know them?
You do a radio show.
Yes, I do.
What is it about Disney that you love? What is it about the film?
It's fun and they're fun and entertaining to me.
And you also use them as a what?
A mirror to help me see my way in the world and understand my feelings for myself and for others.
Cornelia, as Owen's mum, it must have been a desperate period, the 3 years when he just suddenly went silent. As a parent, you must be thinking, will I ever be able to converse with my son again? To have him now here, doing a radio show, being able to do interviews, it must be an extraordinary feeling for you.
It defies description, really. And I've met so many parents on the road who have autistic children younger and are really despairing and in the situation that I was in when Owen was 2.5, 3, and all those years after. And I say, in a million years, I would never have imagined that this young man would be sitting next to me doing what he's doing now.
Owen, what has it taught you? What have you learned from your dialogue with your son through Disney? What have you learned as a great journalist about life?
Well, I mean, I've learned about the power of story. I mean, Piers, in a way, we all live. We all live within these stories. We become our stories at the end of the day. And in American dialogue, in our public dialogues, it's all about story. The story of a candidate, the story of a nation. And of course, Owen had to live in a world of myth, fable, and legend more than the rest of us. It was his only way. And that made me a better journalist. It made us, I think, better people. You know, Cornelia often says, Owen helped us find our inner heroes. That was an architecture that he developed that helped us understand our way. And his older brother says, Owen is my best teacher. What we find, Piers, is we find with folks in the spectrum, 5 million in America, 100 million worldwide, they always have something, we call it an affinity. That's their passion. They go 100 feet deep. Often we say that's an obsession, or I don't want to do that. But actually, it's a pathway, not a prison.
To be embraced.
Precisely. And so we lived through that idea of pathway, and people are doing it around the world now, parents especially. It's very hopeful.
Ron, there's now a movie. You could never have imagined it'd make a movie out of all this, right? But your family story is now a movie. Owen, you're going to be a movie star.
How does that feel?
It feels good. I'm not really a movie star. I'm really an artist being celebrated. I usually do artwork.
Owen's fearful of the idea of celebrity. He says often celebrities, you know, it's not so happy for them,
Well,
right?
it's definitely
Right.
something to be feared. I think that's a very healthy
I
feeling
think
to
you have a very sensible view, young man,
Of
about
being just an artist.
right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So that is something to be celebrated. The whole story is something to be celebrated. Cornelia, Ron, Owen,
Yeah.
thank you all very
Yeah.
much indeed for coming in and
Is
telling
there
it.
a line in a Disney film that you think kind of really sticks with you? Your favourite line from your favourite Disney movie?
Oh, gosh. You know, Owen, do you want... Well, you know, how about let's do a voice, Owen? What would you say? Do you want to do Mufasa and Simba? We've often thought about the idea that we won't always be here. And Owen and we have talked about this. He does a beautiful scene of the hundreds he's memorized. Do Mufasa and Simba.
Dad, we're pals, right? Right. And we'll always be together, right? Simba, let me tell you something that my father told me. Look at the stars, the great kings of the past. Look down on us from those stars. Really? Yes. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you. And so will I.
Wow.
You know,
That's amazing.
that gives parents hope. Someday we won't be here. Owen will remember everything we said, just like we're sitting here now, as he looks to the stars. That's Owen making his way in the world. And that's what every parent hopes for.